Gold Butte, Hiking in a Land of Diversity, a presentation by Jim Boone of birdandhike.com. Before we start talking about how wonderful Gold Butte is, it is important to take a minute and emphasize that this is wild and rugged country. If you go out there, top off the gas tank, take a map, take plenty of food and water, and take the 10 essentials. Cell phones work only in a few places, so don't count on them. If your vehicle breaks down, be prepared to survive for a few days, waiting for help to find you. The BLM is not presently patrolling the area, so you are on your own out there. Make no mistake, this is wild and remote country, where help can be a long ways away and the environment is less than forgiving. Gold Butte is a vast area of public land, some 50 air miles east of Las Vegas. The area proposed for status as a National Conservation Area with Wilderness, here in red, is about 350,000 acres. Driving from Las Vegas, it takes about an hour and a half to get to Whitney Pocket, and while Whitney Pocket is deep within Gold Butte, most people consider it to be just the beginning. However, when I think of Gold Butte as a hiking destination, I think of the entire area bounded by Lake Mead on the west and south, the Arizona border on the east, and the Virgin River to the north, the area here marked in red. This area is about 50 miles long, 18 miles wide, and totals some 500,000 acres. Zooming in, we see Whitney Pocket, a major landmark, destination, and camping area, and we see Gold Butte town site. Not much is left of the town site, but this was the center of gold mining activity in the area and gave the town, mountain, mining district, and eventually the entire area its name. We also see the main roads that crisscross the region, a small fraction of the 500 miles of dirt roads that provide access to the farthest reaches of this wild and remote land. We also see the two existing wilderness areas inside Gold Butte proper, the Lime Canyon Wilderness Area at 24,000 acres and the Jumbo Springs Wilderness Area at 4,600 acres. Lime Canyon is a nice hiking destination, but Jumbo Springs is so rugged and remote that except for the edges, it is almost impossible to penetrate. Gold Butte is huge and remarkably diverse in some surprising ways. In the next several slides, we'll run through some examples of that diversity while providing a photographic introduction to the area. In this case, elevations range from 8,100 feet atop Virgin Peak to only 1,200 feet at the edge of Lake Mead. That is an elevation difference of nearly 7,000 feet. The terrain runs from gentle and smooth to towering and jumbled. Slopes range from nearly level to very steep and sometimes more than vertical. Aspects include north-facing forested slopes where snow lingers into the spring, to south-facing sun-baked slopes with little more than piles of rocks on the landscape. Vegetation ranges from high elevation conifer forests to stark desert flats where little more than creosote bushes dot the landscape. At the highest elevations in the Virgin Range, hikers will find Douglas fir, white fir, Arizona cypress, and perhaps old stumps of ponderosa pine. This is the only place in southern Nevada where Douglas fir and Arizona cypress can be found. Douglas fir is a Pleistocene relict here, a species left over from the last ice age that can barely maintain a foothold on these high and cold, north-facing mountain slopes. The diversity of wildlife runs the gamut. Mule deer, bighorn sheep, and mountain lions can be found in the mountains. Fish live in the lake. The air is full of birds. Snakes are scarce, but lizards scurry everywhere, and red-spotted toads can be found breeding in sandstone water pockets. History in the area runs from the beginning of time to the days of mining and ranching to the modern era. Summer days can be blindingly bright, and the nights are so dark that you can hike by the light of the Milky Way. The geology underfoot is mostly sandstone and limestone, but surprisingly, it even includes granite domes, more familiar in the southern Sierra. As elsewhere, seasons range from summer to winter, but here the spring fields can be green, yellow, or purple, while the scorched summer earth holds brown creosote bushes and straw-colored grass. While art always is in the eye of the beholder, earth art here runs from fanciful shapes at Little Finland to gaping holes in the ground at Devil's Throat. Temperatures range from below freezing, bitter winter nights to scorching summer days well in excess of 110 degrees. There are lots of old mines at Gold Butte, and they too span a diverse spectrum, ranging from solid, hard rock mines to mines in gravelly soils that readily cave in, even when they have supporting timbers. Don't press your luck, holes in the ground are never safe to enter. So, finally, hiking around Gold Butte. The first question about hiking is how do you get there? Gold Butte Road is paved, such as it is, with 2 washed out sections and thousands of potholes, but it is paved all the way from Highway 170 to Whitney Pocket. While few, road signs give directions and distances to various destinations. And out here, when a sign gives miles to Gold Butte, it is referring to Gold Butte townsite. The pavement ends at Whitney Pocket, an area of colorful sandstone crags with a large day-use parking area, several primitive campsites, and a few historical and archaeological sites. Beyond Whitney Pocket, Gold Butte Road is graded dirt, but it hasn't been maintained in years, and much of the road is getting pretty rough with a cobblestone-like surface. But as with the paved section, most critical junctions along Gold Butte Road are marked with road signs. When traveling in this area for the first time, it is useful to carry a map and keep track of mileages. Gold Butte Road is the main dirt road, but when you leave the main road, drivers will find good and bad dirt roads, few of which are maintained. Some roads simply run in washes and wind among the shrubs, trees, and boulders. Some roads are very steep and rocky. Some roads run in deep gravel, and others run in deep sand. Some roads are narrow, rocky, and sandy, and others are just plain scary. Finally getting around to really talking about hiking, there's only one designated trail at Gold Butte, the trail to the Falling Man petroglyph site. But there are a few popular places with well-defined use trails, and lots of old roads that serve well as trails. Mostly, however, we hike routes along washes, along ridgelines, or just scramble among the rocks. Gold Butte is a long ways out, so many people plan to stay overnight. There are several options. Campers with trailers and RVs like the sites at Whitney Pockets. And Gold Butte Townsite is a popular place to camp. Personally, I like the wild places, and a wide spot along some side road suits me fine. Of course, not everybody likes to camp, and inexpensive rooms in Mesquite sometimes sound pretty good, even to me. At this point, let's step away from the slideshow and take to the internet where we can look in detail at some nice hikes. These hikes range in difficulty from Whitney Pockets, where visitors who find walking difficult can find interesting places to visit, to the other end of the spectrum, places like Bonelli Peak, or even just driving to the trailhead is a grand adventure. On the internet, we can go to birdandhike.com, which brings up the homepage where visitors will find 9 categories of outdoor adventures. For hiking at Gold Butte, click on the hiking images or click on the hiking text link, and that brings up hiking around Las Vegas. Either click the Gold Butte text link at the top of the page or scroll down to the Gold Butte section. Clicking either brings up hiking around Gold Butte. This is a table of contents for adventures in Gold Butte, including hikes, points of interest, and descriptions of the roads needed to get to the hikes. The numbered adventures are a nice selection of hikes, ranging from easy, 1, to difficult, 6. For example, clicking Whitney Pocket CCC Dam takes visitors to this page with information about getting to and enjoying this historic site. Be sure to scroll down to see the entire page on all of the information. And clicking Bonelli Peak takes visitors to this page with information about getting to and enjoying this remote and exhausting grand adventure. Again, be sure to scroll down to see the rest of the page. So there are lots of adventures to be had in Gold Butte, and people can use birdandhike.com to visit them vicariously or use the information here to plan their own grand adventures. In closing, I hope this discussion has inspired you to get out and visit Gold Butte. I think you will find it as wonderful as I do, and I hope you will contact your local and federal representatives and let them know that you support public lands, and in particular, that you support the designation of Gold Butte as a National Conservation Area with wilderness. Thank you.